pilot for most of your life, what you are seeing currently at the airport you work at?
Currently, we have about 500 to 700 pilots a day come through our facility that have come in from all parts of the world for their recurrent training or initial training of a new piece of equipment that they're flying. And in addition to that, the flight attendants come in for their emergency procedures training. And at the very least, what we've been doing is have some Perel hand sanitizer stands in and about, and that is the extent of anything that's being done. I'm kind of concerned about that because of the fact that some of these pilots have just gotten back from China as early as probably 10 days ago.
Wow. And it's not just pilots, is that correct? There's also employees, workers on the airlines themselves, flight attendants coming through this same location.
That's correct. It's the flight attendants and pilots. The flight attendants are in a different part of the building. However, it's all under one roof. And so they themselves also are coming in from different parts of the country.
What percentage of the pilots and the flight attendants would you say are traveling to and from Asia or even are traveling internationally?
I would say Asia specifically, probably at least 10%. Worldwide, international, at least 1/3 of pilots are coming anywhere from deep south in South America, Hawaii, far Pacific, Europe. So it just varies, but it's kind of concerning.
So if altogether it's about 1,000, including the pilots and the flight attendants coming through this location, it's roughly 100 coming from international locations which could potentially be exposed to coronavirus. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, have you been briefed by the parent company, the airline, on what to do in the event of someone exhibiting symptoms, or again, what steps will be taken if, for example, a global pandemic is declared?
We have had no instruction whatsoever. I deal with sick students all the time. Last night I had a student that was coughing and hacking and everything, and it was very disconcerting to me since I myself was sick not too long ago and had flu symptoms. I went to the doctor, and those tests are only 50% accurate anyway. And
Wow.
I showed up negative, but I did in fact was out of work for several days because of the flu.
Have you considered self-quarantine?
Yes, I myself carry a mask now with me in my bag. I've got a can of Lysol, and if need be, if it comes down to it, I'll put on some type of latex glove so I don't have to be in contact with anything.
Are you seeing others wearing masks, wearing gloves, and you using Purell, or are you alone in these precautions?
I've seen maybe one other instructor wearing a mask, but for the most part, nobody's talking about it.
Now, as a believer, are you praying for those who are in your class and praying for those other pilots? I mean, how has it affected you seeing again this no precautions being taken and this spreading so rapidly?
Well, before I leave for work, every time my wife and I have a prayer of safety and knowing that the Lord is looking down upon us. And so I'm comforted in that, of course. And then I take a moment as I get to work and I just ask for His blessings once again.
My last question is, are you aware that the state level response in an event of a global pandemic could potentially lead to pilots being redrafted, medical personnel especially, but potentially pilots being redrafted for military missions in response to the coronavirus outbreak?
Well, we as pilots have always been part of the military craft system, and I myself have been used in that manner. back in the early 90s when we were sending troops over to the Middle East, our airline was tagged with those missions of transporting troops and everything. So that's one of those things that we're always.
And with that, this is Healthcare Sucks, bringing you a live interview with the pilot of what's going on behind the scenes. And remember, healthcare sucks!